Ooga booga, ooga booga.
Hello, boogies. Welcome back to another Am I the A-Hole? This series, what is it, Dylan? What we do here is we go over the Am I the A-Hole subreddit. We go over some of the juicier posts, and we give our decree. Well, I say our, I mean my. And the fun part about this is, oftentimes you guys will leave your opinions in the comment section. And in the last one, you disagreed with me mightily on one of the topics. It was a story about how a new mother, I think she was 5 weeks post-pregnancy, or post-birth, giving. 5 weeks after giving birth, the mother-in-law was staying with him. And one night, after caretaking the baby, the new mother comes down to the kitchen and the mother-in-law says, "We didn't save you any food. You were late to dinner." Now, my opinion was everybody sucked there. I think that there was enough omitted information and enough slanting in the story that made me think there's more here. But you guys disagree. You took the mother's side. I think going forward, it's best to avoid stories involving like new mothers and mother-in-laws and food, just so that we don't ever come across that situation again, you know? All right, first post. Am I the asshole for walking out of my baby shower after mother-in-law denied me food? I'm just teasing. We're gonna talk about all the topics. I don't care if you disagree with me. And in fact, I think it's healthy that you disagree with me. That way, in the future, if you're ever riding really high, you can come back to these videos and then look at your comment and you can see yourself disagreeing with me, and then you can see, oh, I can be wrong. You know, it's healthy that you understand that sometimes. You can say, oh, I am fallible. Unlike that guy, Dylan, who was always right about everything always. Am I the asshole for walking out of my baby shower after mother-in-law denied me food? Before I start, I'd like to say I'm a bit of a big girl. No shame in that. I love myself just the way I am, and I have been living by the motto, be you, everyone else is taken. The mother-in-law always made comments about my weight. Ever since I got pregnant, she started making more comments while low-key shaming me for what I eat. Whenever I visit, she gives me a smaller plate, portion, cup, even spoons. Imagine everyone just gets like an adult-sized spoon and you get like a little kiddie spoon, a little plastic spoon. Here you go, eat your fat-free Jell-O. That's all you get. My sister-in-law decided to throw me a baby shower. I got there and mother-in-law was in charge of serving food to the guests. All that was served was cakes and juice. Cakes and juice. Those don't go together at all. What? I got hungry from talking, and I got up to eat some cake. I think she's kind of trying to justify, you can just be hungry, that's fine. But she's like, no, I'm hungry from talking. Like, I deserve it, you know? Which I think kind of speaks to the pressure she's feeling about this. The second I put my hand on the cake, mother-in-law grabbed my arm and said that I'd gained enough weight already, and that if I keep this up, her son will not be happy living with a large walrus. People just are that mean. They just say that, they say things like that. I've been bullied, I know. I know that that's true. I was shocked and I didn't know how to react, especially since she said this out loud, as opposed to telepathically speaking it to her. She looked at me in a sorry not sorry kind of way. What's that look? Is that a little bit like that? Listen, daughter-in-law, if you keep this up, my son's not gonna be happy living with a large walrus. I put the cake down and grabbed my stuff and started walking. Her daughter stopped me, saying I can't leave mid-party and embarrass her like that. I told her to tell her mom to leave if she wanted me to stay, but she went off and said, "Are you crazy? She's my mom. You want me to kick her out in front of everybody?" I turned around and kept walking. I called my mom to come pick me up and went home. So the husband came home looking furious. He asked me to explain what I did at the baby shower and why. I mentioned what his mom did, and he started ranting about how I effed this up over something so minor. He said that his mom meant well and that... you can mean well and do something bad. I get intention is a part of it, but she wasn't intending to do something that positive. She's just kind of being a little bee. She's being a bee. He said that his mom meant well and that I needed to get rid of this easily offended mindset immediately before I pass it down to our son. He said that cakes are essential foods. Cakes are essential foods. And that this was not a good enough reason to walk out of the baby shower. What are cakes essential food? What? And that his mom and sister put a ton of money, time, and effort into. There was just juicing cake. Come on, I don't think a lot of time or money went into this. Let's be realistic. I went to stay with my mom because he wouldn't stop pressuring me to call and apologize for what happened. He kept talking about how pissed and let down his mom and sister feel and called me ungrateful and spiteful for doing what I did. I don't think you can call someone a walrus for trying to eat cake at their own party. Like, it's your party. Eat the cake. Am I overreacting here? No, I don't think you are. This one's pretty easy, right? Number one, she's pregnant. Just relax on the weight thing. There's a kid on the way. Just, like, let's put that off. That's between husband and wife. That's not between the mom. That's not really your place. Meddlesome everybody. Why do people meddle? Mind your business. Am I the asshole for kicking a server out of my wedding? Did the server call you a walrus? Okay, so this person's the asshole. It's been decreed. So this is a 25-year-old woman and her husband, 30 years old. They got married last Friday. The wedding was beautiful. After the pictures, we headed out to cocktail hour, and that's when I saw her. Dun, dun, dun. My guests were all told to wear dark colors, so my husband and I stood out. So they're wearing white. All the guests are wearing dark colors, which fine. Dress code for a wedding, that's okay. I also asked my guests to wear minimal makeup. Okay, now you're pushing it, okay? I assume that applied to the staff too. You just assumed? Okay, great. I'm glad you're implying now that you didn't outright state it, so kind of your fault if something went awry. The server, so she's a 19-year-old-ish female, had on clearly too much eyeliner. Clearly. When you say clearly too much eyeliner, I imagine like football players who just smear like black paint from their forehead down to their chins. She also had diamond studs in her ears, a flashy ring, and one of those ugly nose studs. Glad we got that judgmental ugly in there. The staff's uniform was a black long sleeve shirt, but on her, it was too low cut, and her pants were far too tight. Yay! This is fun. It was super distracting. How? This is your wedding. On your wedding day, how do you obsess over a server? Maybe there's like some like a mental disorder where like if something's out of place or you think something's wrong, like it just ruins your whole day. Maybe you're in love with this server and you can't accept that. You're just so attracted to this server on your wedding day, and it's a woman and you're marrying a man. Maybe you're just so attracted to this person that you want to deny it so badly that instead of all that love, it turns into hate. I'm just throwing out a couple theories here. I kind of like that second theory, though. She was walking around serving drinks and talking to my guests. To her guests. These are my guests. You don't own people. God. I asked another member of the staff to speak to their boss. I asked that she be dealt with. Hey, manager, I need you to send that employee there with the eyeliner all over the face. Send it to the back. I have my associate Joe and Frankie, they'll take care of her. They'll be putting cement shoes on her feet and throw her into the water, into the lake, the body of water. Of course you'll have trouble coming into work tomorrow because of this, but here's a little bit for your trouble. Asked that she be dealt with because she was super distracting. I don't think she was. I think you're in love with her. Their boss apologized and called the server back into the kitchen. Not even an hour later, the server was back out serving food for dinner. The server was serving food? That bitch. I called the boss over again and asked if the server could work in the back or go home or go to the bottom of a body of water. Her boss said that they were short-staffed tonight, so she could see what would be done, what could be done, what will be done. Huh? After a couple hours of not seeing her, I saw the server again behind the bar. That bitch. Serving drinks now? Have you no shame? I called the boss out one last time and told her if the server didn't leave, I would be calling the cops. The boss finally relented and told the girl to go home. My husband and mother-in-law said I was acting crazy. Yeah, that's sad. On the day you're hitching the rest of your life to the person next to you to find out they are in love with that server, that's tough. That's tough. You'd have to attach a picture, and it'd have to be gaudy. The ring would have to be gaudy, the eyeliner, the hair, the pants, tight pants. Get over it. My maid of honor said it's a wedding. It's my wedding, so I can do as I please. No, that's not how this works. You are not queen for the day. Because this doesn't just translate to wedding day. This is birthday. It's my birthday. Serve me. Otherwise, they will meet Frankie and Joey out back. I hope this woman is in the mob, and I hope that she's also a lesbian. I do feel kind of bad because she was pretty young. Am I the ass? Yes, you are. Sorry, you are the ass. You need therapy. This is not normal. There are certain things you need to realize about yourself, I think. Am I the asshole for telling my wife she was so close to getting her dream job? I'm a 33-year-old man, and my wife is 27. Since the start of our relationship, my wife has been very particular about how things get done, and tends to believe that she knows the one true correct way for anything related to anything. Very often, when I do just about anything, whether it be household chores, assembling a piece of furniture, taking a picture, or writing a presentation for work in a field where I have a master's degree, and she has no formal education, she'll do this thing where she'll condescendingly say, "You were so close to getting it right," really drawing out the so close part. I've told her dozens of times that I'd prefer her to stop because it sounds so condescending, but she insists that she's complimenting me. I've been on both sides of this, and I think this is a pretty common relationship thing, where you say something that you think is innocuous, but your partner finds offense. They try to express to you how offended they are by something that's so benign, it's hard to wrap your head around. But usually you relent if you care about the person. It's like, all right, well, I'll try to avoid doing that thing in the future. But I can tell some people, they're just like, no, I mean nothing by it, and I need you to understand that. On the flip side, something your partner does maybe pisses you off. Maybe they turn on a yellow light. It's just a yellow light, Dylan. Shut it off. But I can see both sides of it. I do the dishes and place them out to dry in an orientation she doesn't approve of. You were so close. Next time, put them this way. I take a picture of her. You were so close. Next time, angle the camera this way. I complete a project at work and show her the results. You were so close. Next time, write it this way. For the last 2 months, my wife has been undergoing an intensive hiring process for a job in our city. She got to the very final stage where the company was considering 2 people. Well, on Friday, she got the call telling her thanks for the application, but blah, 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 reckon on file, all that jazz. So essentially, she didn't get the job. My wife came to me crying. I immediately comforted her, and you were so close, blurted out. That's the worst part. If it's like, it was subconscious. Like, this has been stewing in you for a while. Either you're using blurted out to, like, kind of pass the blame to your subconscious. Be like, oh, well, it just happened. It wasn't his fault. Or it actually did just blurt out, meaning this is some deep-seated issue within you that you need to work out with her. Her head whipped up and she asked what I meant by that. I said she was so close to getting the job, but was just a bit off. Maybe next time, sweetheart. She immediately walked out to stay at her friend's house, where she is currently sulking. Was I unnecessarily being an asshole here? Yeah, I think so. Because this is all pretty basic stuff. Like, oh, you didn't do the dishes properly. You were so close. This is her, like, a dream job for her. A relatively well-paying job, doing what she wants to do. That doesn't come around a lot for a lot of people. I get it. You want to be petty back, but yeah, pick your battles. She came to you crying. This was a big deal to her. Like, you need to hash this out. This is clearly a bigger issue than you're giving it credit for. I mean, you're posting on the internet about it. Like, listen, man, you were so close to being the a-hole, but after all you've endured, not the... I don't know. Because now you're just stooped to their level. Does that make you not an asshole? No, it doesn't. Everybody sucks here. Your wife is an a-hole for constantly giving minor backhanded insults. The thing is, I don't think the wife actually thinks of it as a backhanded insult. Again, yeah, we went over that whole thing. I'm curious about your opinion on that. Not the asshole. I'm seeing a lot of not the assholes. Maybe you guys disagree. Oh God, not more disagreement from you guys. I need you on my side. I want to be completely honest that it wasn't my intention to give her a taste of her own medicine. I just heard that phrase so many times in so many different situations that it was legitimately the first thing that came to mind. I don't know if I believe that. Ooh, that one's tough. When she reacted with shock that I had said that I would say such a thing to her, I do admit that I doubled down because I'd heard it. Oh, I don't know. That sounds like a lot of justification. I didn't think this one would be so, like up in the air, but yeah, let me know your opinion. Am I the asshole for refusing to give my girlfriend some of my food? My girlfriend is one of the people who, if you ask them, they say they don't want anything, but literally seconds later, they ask you for your food to share. It was cute at first, but now I'm kind of annoyed by it because sometimes I just want to eat the food that I bought for myself. Whenever I tell her to stop doing that, she apologizes, doesn't do it for like 2 days, but then does it again, and the cycle repeats. Just something I'm thinking about a lot is when you communicate something to somebody and you repeatedly communicate it to them and they don't take it into consideration or they don't apply it, how much of the responsibility is on you to communicate it in a better, more effective way, and how much of the responsibility is it on the person who's receiving it? There's a lot of gray area there, and this is something I've been thinking about recently. I was ordering some takeout and asked her if she wanted anything, and she said no, so I went ahead and ordered for myself. Got the food, came home, and started to eat, and she asked me if I could have some. I was hungry and didn't want to share at this point, so I refused and said she could just make some food or herself or go get something to eat. She said I was being a dick and a bite or two wouldn't hurt. No, I disagree. This is a principle thing. You set a precedent. Put your foot down, but I still refused because I literally asked her if she wanted anything and she said no. Yeah, it's a principle thing at that point. It's not about the practicality of it. Things have been a little tense now and she's giving me the silent treatment and refusing to talk to me. I'm wondering if I should have just sucked it up since it's just food, but I don't know. Am I the asshole? No, I don't think so. And I think, yeah, this is probably the best thing that could happen. Lesson learned, hopefully. Friends reference. Oh, that Friends video. I'm on season 10. I'm watching all the Friends for a video. It'll be a beer and a movie on Dylan is in Trouble. I'm on season 10 now. I have a whole, oh my God, listen, the notes. Look at all these notes for all the seasons. Listen, look. And I'm not even finished. This is gonna be a long video. Joe, you're gonna need like 3 weeks to work on that, I swear. Am I the asshole for making a joke about a guy being a virgin at a cosplay meetup? So essentially cosplaying, if you don't know, it's like dressing up as your favorite characters from books, movies, shows, video games, etc. And they oftentimes will have meetups, so they'll get together and be dressed together. My girlfriend is active in the cosplaying community and goes to these gatherings where different people cosplaying video game characters and anime characters come to meet up and take pictures and stuff. My girlfriend went to this smaller scale meetup of around 30 cosplayers, and I went with her to help her take pictures and also just to hang out with her. We went, and there was this creepy, weird guy following my girlfriend around and asking her questions and talking about his cosplay and stuff. How dare he? He was talking about cosplay at a cosplay meetup with someone who was cosplaying there? The nerve! He was cosplaying some kind of pirate, but I don't know what it was because I don't watch anime or play a lot of video games. Little flag there. Little flag. Maybe I'll point these out more in the future because I think that'll give you insight into how I'm thinking. But there are certain things that are said that are unnecessary that give you little flags. To now point out that the guy was a pirate, but I don't know what kind of pirate because I don't watch anime or play video games. I have better things to do. It feels like very much like, that nerd shit isn't for me. My girlfriend was clearly uncomfortable with this guy, so I told him we are going to take pictures, so please leave. He took offense to this and started asking me where my cosplay is and said I don't understand anything, and told me I probably don't even know who he's cosplaying as. Okay, so maybe I misjudged. That is a little bit of relevant information saying I'm not into that stuff, because now this guy is like saying you don't even know who I am. So that is relevant information. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that flag is rescinded. He had a full face of pimples. Come on. Oh god, here we go. And also looked like the stereotypical anime gamer nerd. So I asked him if he was cosplaying Captain Redbeard of the Virgin Islands. I know this insult didn't come out as smoothly. Like if it's just fired out of his mouth, it's mean, but it's a little funny. But I know he stammered a little bit trying to think of this insult, and it didn't come out smooth, so it is way less funny. My girlfriend immediately said babe and said I was being rude and forced me to apologize. We got home and my girlfriend says she's embarrassed by my behavior and called me an asshole. Am I the asshole? I think yes. Why, Dylan? Let me know your opinions before I give my opinions. Maybe if you want to pause, give your opinion, and then see how much our opinions match up. My thinking is that this is obviously important to his girlfriend. These are her people. She wants to build connections with these people because they're all interested in this more niche hobby that they all have. This is a little vague. We went there and there was this creepy, weird guy, subjective, any guy talking to your girlfriend, especially one that's like pimple-faced and nerdy, you're gonna be like, oh, what a creepy, weird guy. He could just be excited about her cosplay, and he was asking her questions and talking about his cosplay and stuff. There's nothing weird about that. I think if there was something really weird, you'd point it out. But that's not weird to talk about cosplay at a cosplay event. My girlfriend was clearly uncomfortable. Again, that's a subjective call. And the fact that she was telling him to apologize for being mean kind of leads me to believe that I don't think this guy was being weird. I'm getting a little bit of a vibe that he's like, oh, I'm so above this. I'm not into this nerd shit. Everyone sucks here except the girlfriend. I don't know that the guy sucks. I don't know that he was hitting on the girl or anything. It's a cosplay meetup. You meet up. The whole point of going to the meetup is to kind of like build connections and talk and like do the cosplaying together. It's possessive to be mildly unkind to a creep following your girlfriend around and making her uncomfortable. Very good take. So this person is saying like, no, he's definitely being a creep and following around and making her uncomfortable. I'm not ready to make that judgment, especially with her reaction of the boyfriend overreacting. I don't know that characterization of this, pimple-faced guy, I don't know that it's accurate. So I can't just believe that blindly, Am I the asshole for moving out because I don't want to help my boyfriend out with the rent? My boyfriend is a 26-year-old man and her 24-year-old girl. They've been together for 3 years. We live in New York City and he makes over $200K a year. At 26, that's impressive. Right now, I'm doing an unpaid year-long internship 3 days a week, as well as classes for 2 days a week. I spend 12 hours every day either working, studying, commuting, or in class. My only free days are on weekends, so I have no time for a paid job. My only free days are on weekends, so I have no time for a paid job. I only have 2 days free a week, so therefore I have 0 days free. It would be hell to do schoolwork and this unpaid internship 5 days a week and then work, but like, it's not like you have no time. My mom helps me financially by paying for my Metro card and healthcare expenses, but everything else I rely on loans. Before I moved in with my boyfriend, there was a roach infestation in my apartment. That's nice. So I'd stay over at his place a lot. My lease was ending soon, so he asked me if I wanted to live with him. First, I joked with him that his living standards would go down since I can't afford a nice place. So she's joking like, oh, we'd have to move to a worse apartment so that we could split the rent, and to be fair, he insisted on paying the rent until I finished grad school. Then we would split the rent based on income. That all sounds really fair. So I moved into his $5,000 a month luxury condo in the city this August. All of a sudden, my boyfriend recently started asking me to pay half the rent. I was confused because he was the one who wanted to pay the rent in full. Apparently, he was talking to his friends, and they all think it's weird that I don't pay rent and that I was a gold digger. Oh no. I let my boyfriend know that I can't afford $2,500 a month, and he said I was leeching off him. I stayed at my friend's place for a few days while figuring out what to do. I found some places in Queens within the price range. I've been texting the landlord and my new roommates, and I already signed the lease. So she found a place and new roommates. I told my boyfriend about the new place, and he got upset and asked me to stay. Bro. He said that he was willing to accept $800 a month instead of $2,500 a month, if that's all I could afford. Why wouldn't you? Oh no. I think this couldn't be hashed out earlier because the guy tried to power play. But I told him I don't want him changing his mind again and demanding more money from me in the future. Yeah, that's smart. I think what he tried to do is power play. I don't know how many of you play poker, but there's something you can do called I'm all in, meaning you push all your chips into the table. So you're all in. If you lose the hand, you're out. I think what this guy tried to do is, I think he was like, I'm all in with a bluffed hand. He's thinking, well, she's got nowhere else to go. She can't afford anything else. She has no choice but to relent. And then I have the upper hand in the relationship. I have all the power. So she called his bluff, and then he is now going, okay, I'm just kidding. I'm taking my chips back. No, I'm reversing my all in. He tried to power play her, and she wasn't having it. Good for her. Update, yes, I did dump him. Okay. This one's pretty easy. Listen, he tried, and he didn't get it. Good for her. I'm glad she stood up for herself, because that's some fuckery. We don't fuck around with fuckery. Am I the asshole for yelling at my husband when he ate some of my chocolate and making him drive across the city to replace them? I am 8.5 months pregnant. Okay, so she only has like 4 more months until she gives birth. And driving sucks. So my mom drives me around because my husband is working huge hours to get ahead before the baby comes. Listen, don't try to correct me. I know how long births are. It's 1 calendar year. Last month, she drove me to my favorite chocolate store and I stocked up on my favorite flavors. The store is about an hour's drive away from our home. He came home from work yesterday and after supper, we were going to sit and watch TV. I waddled over to the couch and asked, I love when pregnant women say they waddled because yeah, it's a waddle. I waddled over to the couch and asked him to please bring me 2 of my chocolates. He did, and he grabbed a few for himself. No problem there. He came back to the couch with chocolates in his mouth. That bitch. When I kissed him, I knew what flavor he took. He admitted he took the strawberry ones. Listen, if I don't know a word, I'm gonna change it. That's just the way it goes. I got kind of upset, and he said it was no big deal. I could go with my mom to get some more. Yes, this company sells their chocolate everywhere, but that flavor, I've only ever seen this flavor in their store. I asked if he had been eating that flavor a lot, and his face told me everything I needed to know. I yelled at him. He said he would go out right now and replace them. He had a couple of the drugstores and a couple of grocery stores. They all told him the same thing. So he drove across town and came back with a big bag of just that flavor. While he was gone, I called my mom and she said that I needed to calm down because my hormones are making me crazy. I apologized to my husband because he is still grumpy that he drove around for hours just to get me chocolate. I think he should know better than eat my favorite flavor. Are we going to talk about women and their pregnancy needs? Yeah, fuck it. Well, let's go there. The meal thing from the last Am I the Asshole video, I can understand that more because you need meals to survive. You do. This is just treats. However, I'm never gonna experience a pregnancy craving, so I don't know how intense that is. But people have, like many women throughout history, have gone through pregnancies without, you know, like their favorite fancy treats. Edit, my husband is wonderful, and he went out looking to replace my chocolate. After he didn't find it nearby, he chose to drive across town. When I said I made him do it, I meant that he did it to make me happy. Sorry for the confusion. I don't think anyone sucks here. It's just one of those things living together. It's one of those little humps you gotta get over. Don't eat my chocolates. I got special foods. I can't have yellow lights. We talked about this. Listen, we got our things. You want me eating your chocolates? I'm not gonna eat your chocolates. Just don't be eating them under yellow lights, alright? Not the asshole. In a year, you'll both be laughing about Chocolate Gate. Yeah, it's one of those endearing couple stories. Am I the asshole for not giving into my sister's bullshit? This post has been removed. Here's the original post. Thank goodness it was auto-posted. My older sister is an asshole. You know what I love? This is probably why I got removed. The forum is here to ask, who's the asshole in the story? And you're just right out the gate, 6 words in, you're like, she's the asshole. My other sister is an asshole who needs to constantly be the center of attention, and we've never gotten along, so this fight is nothing new. We just had a wedding shower for her and her fiance. My parents pretty much paid for it all. They paid for all the drinks as well. At the end of the party, we had several bottles of wine left over, around a dozen. So I checked in with my folks to see if I could bring a couple bottles home for my spouse and I. They said yes. On my way out, I grabbed 2 bottles. My sister saw me leaving and blocked my path through the door with her body. She started loudly whining and complaining about why I'm leaving with wine when it isn't mine. And in front of several family members and a few of her friends, she grabbed the wine bottles and started trying to wrestle them from my hands. I don't know why she does asinine shit like this. She just always has. I'm very introverted, so normally I would let this go. But the fact that there were so many witnesses to this, standing in awkward shock, really embarrassed me. And I had enough of her shit. So I wrestled her with all my strength. What kind of party was this? A wedding shower, right. Oh, so we got all that pre-wedding stress. Oh, this is, yep. It's the perfect time to do it, is like pre-wedding. That's the time to fight. If you're gonna fight with somebody, that's the time to fight. I don't even know what a wedding shower is. Isn't there a bridal shower and then a bachelor party? I don't know. Serious relationships fuck me up anyway, so I don't have to worry about that for a while. And I wrenched the bottles out of her grip and then shoved past her out the door to my car, wine in hand. She started following me, but her friends called her name, telling her to stop. And then my spouse, who had been in the kitchen helping pack up food, came through the door looking pissed and bewildered, and she backed off at the sight of them. But imagine seeing your wife with, like, 2 bottles of wine, just running like a running back out to the car, away from her sister. I got scratch marks on her face. Like, she's just booking it in the dress. Dad asked me to apologize, but I refused. She does this to herself by being the way she is. It's her fault because she's a bitch. That's what that sentence means. She's 6 years older than me. Shouldn't she know better? I mean, shouldn't she know better? She's in her 30s. She shouldn't be, like, acting in this way. But the fact that you're contrasting her age against yours as if your age would, like, exalt you. Oh, fuck. Yep. No, I didn't use that right for sure. She called me a bitch and an a-hole. Her fiance agrees. And so do some of our relatives who think I should have just let it go to keep the peace on her day. Mom, my spouse, and the other relatives agree with me. Civil war. Civil war. Family civil war. And so do our brothers. That's good. Get them as allies. That's awesome. We're all tired of her shit. Good. Call the bannerman. Getting a lot of not the assholes. I think the timing of the party is important. So you're leaving. So I would assume it's probably party's winding down and people aren't probably going to be drinking much more. Then you're probably just making a big deal out of nothing. But yeah, it's just sister shit, man. I'm on the asshole for showing my twin sister's OnlyFans to our parents. Click to see. Yes, please. Hi, 18-year-old female, and my identical twin. Oh, you're identical twins. A friend's plot. It's a friend's plot. Oh my god. PB's sister does, the P. Like it rhymes with scorn, but I can't say it because monetization issues. We've always fought over everything, guys, close friends, but our relationship came to a halt a few weeks ago when a mutual guy friend of ours sent me a link to an OnlyFans profile with an attached message that stated this you. Confused, I clicked on the link and was shocked to discover that the profile belonged to my twin sister. But there's like a responsibility. If I had a twin, I wouldn't want to use my face for scorn. The profile picture was very clearly a scantily clad image of her, and the username was my nickname that literally everyone in my life uses. This twin sister's pinning it on her. I asked our friend about it, and he told me that he had discovered the profile through Twitter and then subscribed to the profile. Oh, I just subscribed to the profile just to find out if it was you, and that's all I did. That's all yeah. Which included dozens of videos of her doing spicy things, to say the least, solo and with partners. And this is her doing rhymes with scorn, all with her face showing. Oh no. I was floored and in a fit of rage showed the profile to our parents. You don't need to justify the fit of rage. Like, this is probably the right thing to do. I mean, literally anyone who saw that profile who knows us would immediately assume that it's me, considering she's basically going by my name. Yeah, that's the hard part to get out of. That part is really damning. Our parents forced her to delete the profile, and she hasn't spoken to me since, claiming that I not only ruined her main source of income, but also betrayed her trust. Excuse me. Doing rhymes with scorn with my identical face, using my nickname so people would think it's me. Not only ruined her main source of income, get a fucking job. Jesus Christ. I say as the YouTuber who just makes videos for the internet. What's that? You want to bring the hypocrisy? No. Take it out of here. All right, I think that she betrayed my trust by going by my nickname. Yeah, 100%. Let's say that she didn't use the nickname. So that very clearly seems like she thought ahead and wanted to pin this on her sister. Let's remove that part, that piece. If you have an identical twin and they start doing an OnlyFans, you're gonna get messages from people who know you, and they come across that profile. They're gonna be like, "Is that you?" And that seems incredibly unfair to the twin that's not doing it, Isn't this plot of an episode of Friends? Yeah. You were not the a-hole. My sister used my identity and I confronted her and took my old ID away. She then went to the DMV and got an updated ID with a new picture. She then got drunk and hit a cop car coming out of the bar. She ended up with a felony warrant, but not really. Why? She used my name, not hers. I got the felony warrant. The levels of evil you could commit. Oh God, how do you prosecute that? Let's say there's a murder and there's two identical twins. One of them murdered the person, but you don't know which one. They have the same DNA, I think, same fingerprints, I think even. How would you prosecute that? That would be so difficult. You'd have to have alibis and stuff. Oh man, that could get messy. I was gonna say that should be a plot of like a dramatic movie, but I'm like, that's probably a Lifetime movie. Am I the asshole for staying true to my threats after my dad died? What was your threat? That you were gonna curse his soul? My dad died unexpectedly last week, and my sister Jess and I lost our mom last year. She's missing? From how our family acted in the past over scavenging over dead people's things, both Jess and I decided to send out a family memo. No one is to enter or take anything from our parents' home until we get there. And I'm a lawyer. I reminded my family we will prosecute. Jess and I are on the same page. Jess gets to my parents' house first and notices stuff is missing, and my parents had security cameras. It showed that my cousin was taking stuff from the house, so Jess did what we agreed on and called the police, and two of our cousins were arrested. Because it was over $1,000, both are looking at felonies. My cousin said my dad promised him this stuff, and I had my dad's will, making me executor of the estate. Executor. Only I can kill this estate as the executor. Because of this drama, Dad was quietly cremated with no service. This is them at the cremation. Goodbye, Dad. Shh. Oh, sorry. Goodbye, Dad. My last little grandma is upset about it, but she sided with my cousins and aunt. I don't know. I always switch. I always say aunt, and then people are like, it's aunt, and then I say aunt, and people are like, it's aunt. It's like plug it in the USB. No matter what way you put it in, it's going to be wrong the first way. Saying that we are too tough on having them arrested. This one is indeed tough. Calling the cops on family for taking stuff that the dad promised them. Oh, I don't know. I really don't know on this one. Like, that's a felony. So that's going to be on the record. They got the not the a-hole badge, but I think it's questionable. I don't know that you should get the badge. I'm not the asshole. My advice, follow through with the charges and use this opportunity to remove these people from your life permanently. Leave it to Reddit. There will always be someone in the comments like, hey, cut everybody off. Get them out of your life. There's merit to certain stories you hear and you're like, that person, you're better off not having them in your life. But at the same time, Reddit's so quick to hear, what was this? 2 paragraphs. And they're like, yeah, cut those people out of your life forever. Cut them out. Kill them if you want. Am I the asshole for the way I reacted to my parents' open relationship and no longer paying rent? I, 18-year-old male, live with my parents. I've been paying rent since I was 16, since my parents would be financially effed if I wasn't helping out. Not a great situation when, like, a teenager's wage is, like, helping carry the household. It happens sometimes, but it's not ideal. Several of my parents, probably like a few days ago, my parents told me that they were seeing someone and that the relationship is open. I didn't give a F or S since it wasn't affecting me until this guy they are seeing started staying nights. I think we can all kind of cope with our parents, the idea of our parents, being together, you know what I mean? We can kind of get behind that because we are the products of that as their spawn. But now you're talking about bringing a third person, talking about your parents having a threesome. I almost said an orgy. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, God, I can't. Oh, no. The thought of my parents is enter my head. Distract. He treats this place like it's his. He tries to tell me, wow, this guy's crazy. Ha. Distract. He treats this place like it's his. Tries to tell me what to do, and eats all of my food. I tried talking to my parents about it, but they just said that it's their house, so they can have who they want here. As soon as you start contributing, it's no longer just their house. It's fine. Like when you're growing up, it's like, hey, our house, our rules, and that can be a good thing. I really tried to put up with it until this guy tried to discipline my dog. I flipped. I yelled the house down, calling him all sorts like, oh, that word. Dumb piece of FS freeloader. And some more vile stuff that's probably way too messed up to say here. Oh God, if you can't say it on the internet anonymously. Oh no. Parents rushed to see what's going on and tell me off. Instead, I told them off. Okay, so they were gonna try to tell him off. He's like, no, I'm doing the telling off here. And calling them terrible parents. And they can shove their house up their ass. I don't think it would fit up their ass. A house? Probably not, right? And then I'm not going to pay rent to live in a house I have no say in. And a house that your parents are having a threesome. Oh, God. I've been staying with my boyfriend. My parents recently texted me asking me for my rent. You didn't get your rent check this month. That's weird. I feel like I'm not wrong to not pay rent anymore, but I went so overboard with my words. Am I the asshole? No, yeah. What they said is short-sighted. Yeah, you have a say. You should, have a voice. The only thing that I'm worried about is you said some vile stuff you're worried about because it was pretty messed up. And you said it basically twice that it was pretty messed up. What line did you cross? That's the question. You'd have to cross a pretty far line to be the asshole here. If you cross that line, then everybody sucks. If you didn't cross that line, then it's just your parents. And when the asshole for calling the police on my fiance, more cops called, huh? So this guy's a 35-year-old man, and his fiance's a 38-year-old woman. The woman left in the evening to give a friend's son a ride back to his home. Jesus. She implied she'd be home before 9. She left at around 7:45. 10:15 rolled around, and she still wasn't home. I texted, and she apologized to me, saying that her friend's son was actually in the next town over, maybe 30 minutes away, and she was coming home now. 11:45 rolled around, and she still hadn't come home, so I called her to no answer. Now it's been 4 hours. She implied that it would be about an hour, and it was actually 4 now? Yeah, I can understand. Texted her to no response. I was getting very upset. I don't know about the upset part. I'd be worried. 10:30 rolled around and still no response and no call to my phone calls. I was extremely angry. Still more angry. I would be worried. No? 1:30 rolled around. Okay, so now it's in like 6 hours. And my anger had completely transformed into worry. About time. Goodness. Around 1:45, I called the police. I asked them to let me know if there had been any traffic accidents involving car, and the operator told me that they would put out the word and send some cops to check along the routes she would travel. And I waited outside watching the road for her car for 3 hours. So he's up till 5 in the morning, particularly because I didn't want the kids to hear me. Okay, so there's kids involved. At 7 a.m., she came home. Okay. She apologized for being out and said she had no excuse. She was driving home and felt tired, and she was falling asleep at the wheel, so she pulled over to the side of the road to sleep. When she did that, she found that her brand new phone had stopped working. But she has no excuse, right? This kind of sounds like an excuse. Are we getting the same vibe here? Hey, how are you feeling about this? Her fiance goes out at night saying she has an errand to run. She is late coming back and says, oh no, the errand is just taking longer than I expected. And then she stops responding to all your messages. Then shows up the next morning being like, oh, crazy story. Pretty suspicious. And then came home at 7 a.m. to bring the kids to school and get to work on time. How did she wake up at 7 a.m.? Exactly. She didn't have an alarm. Her phone was not working, right? I immediately called the police and told them that she had come home safely and gave them the case number and told them to stop searching, which they did. And I was informed that it was their policy to check on the person's wellness after a missing person is found. I asked him not to go by her work, but to give her a call instead. She said he couldn't promise. My fiance is relatively new to her job. A police officer showed up and asked to speak with her. She is now enraged at me for calling the police and sending a cop to her work and making her look bad. She's saying I overreacted and that she wasn't missing and that I was punishing her for doing the responsible thing. You're gonna punish me for being responsible? But I was just being responsible. She is saying that she is never going to leave the house again except for work. So now she's guilting you. Oh, she cheating. She cheating for sure. Oh no, I'd be shocked if she wasn't. I'd be shocked if this was all true. She's gonna try to convince you that you are crazy for calling the cops, for her not responding. So that next time she goes out, you're gonna think you can't call the cops because you're worried about, maybe something happened to her. So now she could be out all night, come back in the morning and be like, oh, funny thing happened. This funny event occurred. A funny event in which I had to be responsible and I was just being responsible. Not the asshole. I don't believe her story one bit. Driving a kid home and disappearing for the entire night is a massive red flag. If you could show the broken phone, if she could prove that, then I would give her far more leeway. The kid is 17, I believe.
It's over for you. This is the police.
This ain't real. This ain't real. No. I don't believe this post is real. I think your fiance is getting railed 2 towns over, my guy. I did ask her about why her brand new phone stopped working, and she eventually confessed she dropped it in a puddle. That's not a confession. Like, you just come out and say that. Like, that's the reason. The fact that you had to pry for that information tells me that she had to think of it on the spot. When she got home, it seemed to be working. Oh, well, that's convenient. I didn't realize water had a time limit that it could only damage a phone for so long before I had to relent. Edit, I think this would be more believable if it had rained in the last few weeks. And that puddle was in a toilet, okay? I was being responsible. Edit, my fiance has informed me that she was embarrassed, but the truth is that she dropped it in the toilet. The fact that her story continues to change out of embarrassment. I don't believe her story, but I don't know why she would lie. We have a somewhat open relationship that only demands that she talk to me about any potential partners first. So if it is an open relationship, she can. It's not even cheating. Although exes are off limits. So it's either an ex or it's 17-year-olds. And you can't talk to people about that. Let me know your opinion on these in the comment section down below. I think there were a lot of really good ones in this one. So yeah, I'm super excited. I love reading through your comments, specifically when you agree with me. I love being affirmed. That's my favorite part. Let me know where you disagree. Let me know where you agree. Yeah, that's it. Ooh.